This one here is log xy to base 4 equals 2. Prove that log 2x plus 2y equals 4. Okay. I suppose I'm going to go for log 4x plus log 4y. Does everybody know why I started off with that? In this one it's separated, in this one it's not. So I have to separate it out. Next step is I'm looking at the difference. Base 4 compared to base 2. I need to change my bases. So I'm going to go for log x base 2 divided by log 4 base 2. If you don't know how I got that, you need to familiarise yourself with the change of base rule. It's always this one divided by the other one, divided by the base number, and then you pick whatever base you want. The base I want is 2 because it says 2 in the answer. Okay? Now what's going to happen next is the two of these, when I put them into my calculator, they're both going to turn out to be 2. I'm going to multiply this side, top and bottom, by 2. Then what I'm going to be left with is log 2x plus log 2y equals 4, because the 2's on the bottom cancel out. Proven.
That's it?
Yeah. I know there's another part. Next thing. Solve the simultaneous equation. Solve the simultaneous equation. Log to base 4 xy equals 2 and log 2x, log x to base 2, log y to base 2 equals 3. Well look, one thing I'm sure about is I'm just after doing this part, I'm just after doing this first part and it turned into this here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to replace this part here, is going to get replaced with this part here. So what we're going to write down is the question is now log base 4, oh sorry, log base 2 x plus log base 2y equals 4. Alright, now it's giving me a very nice hint here. Okay, and here's the hint it's giving me. It's going, I've never seen one like this compared to the other ones I've done. There's usually a log rule that I can put them together with, but there is no log rule for a log multiplied by a log. There is none. Okay, so this is a different type of question. You might want to circle number 30 as a different type completely to anything else in its exercise. Now the way to do this is replace log 2 with p. So I'm going to get p plus q equals 4. Then it says replace, this one is going to be pq equals 3. Just doing exactly what it told me to do. Now I have a quadratic linear equation, and in the quadratic linear equation here's what we're going to do. Get p on its own. P equals 4 minus q. P multiplied by q therefore is it's going to be 4 minus q multiplied by q equals 3. We're going to get 4q minus q squared, bring the 3 over, minus 3 equals 0. At the same time, I'm going to multiply them by minus 1, and then I'm going to arrange them in order of q squared, followed by q, followed by the number. It's going to be plus q squared minus 4q plus 3 equals 0. Same thing as switching them all over the other side. Okay? Factorize q minus 3, q minus 1 equals 0, q equals 1, q equals 3. If q equals 1, if q equals 3, p is 4 minus q. That means p equals 1. And when q equals 1, p equals 3. Now, I have to go back to what they said it was. They said log x base 2 equals p. This means two things. This means log x base 2 equals 1, which means x equals 2 to the power 1, which means x equals 2. The other answer was 3. This means x equals 2 to the power 3, x equals 8. It's the same thing for y. Log y to the base 2 equals q. Is that what it was? Okay, and what this will mean is q is either 1 or 3. This means that y therefore is equal to 2 to the power 1 or 2 to the power 3, and the two answers are 2 and 8. 2 or 8. Okay? If you remember earlier in the chapter, okay, we had this. What we had was log 100 to the base 10 is how we introduced this chapter equals 2. 100 equals 10 squared. Okay? That's how we introduce it. What ln means, you'll see something called ln. What ln means is log to the base e. That's what ln means automatically. Okay? Now, remember what I said earlier. You got to accept it. It's a learn off. No y to it. ln means log to the base e automatically. Okay? Next thing is, any number to the same base is what? 1. Therefore, e to the e is 1. Let's go again. That means ln e is 1 because the base is automatically included. Okay. Next thing. What you're going to be asked is, what about, you might be asked, what about ln e to the half? Or sorry, ln root e. What's root e again in terms of a power? ln e to the power of a half. What you do with the half? Bring it to the front. What's a half ln e? Half of 1. 0.5. Okay, easy enough starting off. Now guys, e is a special number. You might say, why on God's green earth did you make this special letter e? E is what's called exponential, right? It's like 2.711, something like that. What it is it's a very useful number for modeling statistical trends. It's a very useful number for modeling population growth, growth of cells. It's used in physics, biology, economics worldwide. This one number or letter. Okay? Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to try figuring out, solve each of the following. Okay? Solve ln x equals 1, solve e to x equals 5. I'll show you how to do this now. It wants to know what power of e will get you 5. If I go to my calculator and I do, here it is here, you can see above the ln button. Just give me a second. If I do e to the power of 1, sorry, third time lucky, shift e to the power of 1. E to the power of 1 is what? 2.71. What's e to the power of 2? 7.38. You know it's across the number 5, didn't it? So our answer is going to be in between 1 and 2 somewhere. You got it? Because it has to be whatever power turns into 5. So here's what we're going to do. ln both sides. ln e to the x, ln 5. Now you might say, why did we do that? The reason why we did that is ln, sorry, basically, right? I'm just after freeing up the x. The x is no longer part of the power once I use the power rule. X ln e equals ln 5. And what do we know about ln e? It's 1. If you don't remember, check it. Okay? How is ln e 1? Its base is e. You're gonna have to go back at the start of the class. Like now. Sorry guys. What we're gonna have next is this. Okay? I'm gonna have ln. Okay? It's gonna be ln 5. And this, well, my prediction is this should be somewhere in between 1 and 2. It is 1.61. X equals 1.61. Next type of question is ln x equals a half minus a half. Okay, so this one here is one type of question. The one I'm doing in red is a different type of question. Okay, so what I'm doing here is ln x equals minus a half. So what's going to happen here is the following. What I'm going to do is ln x means log x to the base e. Is everybody in agreement with that? Yeah? Now, this button is this number letter is the base number, so it's going to be e to the power of minus a half. And what is e to the minus a half using your rules of indices? 1 over e to the half, because it's a minus power. And then finally x equals 1 over root e. Okay? Alright guys. Now that that's done, okay, 1 over root e. Okay, all those questions are done in a similar manner, 42, okay? So, now, by writing e to x equals y or otherwise solve each of the following equations. I got started on this one yesterday but didn't quite get close enough to it, okay? Now I'm going to show you two different types, okay? I'm going to do one of them, but I'm going to show you how they both start off. E to the 2x equals ex squared. Is everybody happy with that? Yeah? We've done these before. This means this one here is y squared. This one here is minus 3y. This one here is minus 4 equals 0. The only other type of question they can ask you in this is this one here, where you say this is 3 e to the x minus 7 plus 2 over e to the x. I use the power rule of a negative number to change it to the bottom. Everybody understand those power rules? Equals 0. Then I change that to y's. 3y minus 7 plus 2 over y equals 0. Okay? Add y's onto everything. 3y squared minus 7y, there's y's on the bottom, plus 2 equals 0. Is everybody happy with how to get that quadratic? Now, I don't need to finish that quadratic off for you because I'm actually going to show you how to finish this one over here. Okay? This one over here is going to be y minus 4 y plus 1 equals 0. Y equals 4, y equals minus 1. Don't forget what you said y was. Y is e to the x. E to the x must equal 4, or e to the x equals minus 1. How do you free up the x again? I did it a matter of 2 questions ago. I put log on both sides. Okay? And when I put log on both sides, it frees up the x as the power. And we get x ln e. Oh, sorry, and I made a mistake there. I forgot to put ln on the other 2 sides. It should be ln minus 1 and ln 4 and ln minus 1. What's the problem with the log of a negative number? Doesn't exist. This solution doesn't exist. Leaves one solution left. And we're going to get x ln e equals ln 4. X therefore equals ln 4 because ln e is 1. ln 4, you can put that into your calculator, figure out what it is. ln 4 equals 1.39. Okay. Okay, lads, this one here, it's a solved question. We've never solved anything that looks remotely like it. So let's not start now. Let's let y equal ln x, because it makes sense. Then we're going to get 2y squared minus 7y plus 3 equals 0. We're going to do our reference number of 6. We're going to break 6 up into minus 1 and minus 6. Then we're going to get 2y squared minus 1y minus 6y plus 3 equals 0. We're going to take out our y's. We're going to get 2y minus 1 minus, it's going to be 2y minus 1 by default, next thing over, 3. Y minus 3, bracket, 2y minus 1, close bracket, equals 0. Solve. Y equals 3 or y equals a half. Is everybody happy with solving that?
Yeah.
Fair enough. What did I say y was? I said ln x. Ln x, sorry, it's not h. It's ln x equals 3 or ln x equals a half. I already did, sorry, that's it. I already did one of these questions already. It's log base ex. That's what it means, Hugo. That's what ln x means. Remember, this one here is the power. This is the power, this is the base. It means x equals e to the power of 3 or x equals e to the power of a half. X equals root e or x equals whatever e cubed. You can leave it as e cubed. If you really want to find out the number, just put it into your calculator. E3 is 20.09 or 20.1. Root e is going to be root e. We just do it here, root, and then look for e. We only want 1e, so e to the power 1, 1.65.
How is e to the power of half the same as root e?
Okay, what we said about that, Hugo, is sorry, root e before I leave off is 1.65. Okay. What I said you have to have learned off by heart is anytime you have the square root sign, it means to the power of a half off by heart.